Hello everyone, this is Tejaswini. In this video, we will talk about oligosaccharides. As in last video, we have talked about oligosaccharides, Browning reactions, then reducing sugar and invert sugar. Especially, we have talked about non-enzymatic Browning reaction, and in which we have discussed caramelization and Maillard reaction. So let's start. As there are two types of polysaccharides, homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides are made up of single type of monosaccharide, and heteropolysaccharides are made up of two or more type of monosaccharides. Again, homopolysaccharides are divided into two parts. First is structural polysaccharides and another one is storage polysaccharide. Structural polysaccharides, again in plant, structural polysaccharide is cellulose in plant and chitin in animals. Same as this, storage polysaccharides are also divided into two parts. Like first is starch in plant and glycogen in animal. In last video also I told you one more example of heteropolysaccharide, which is mucopolysaccharides, because it contain amino sugar as monosaccharide. And examples of monosaccharide: hyaluronic acid. The polysaccharides are high molecular weight substances. High molecular weight substances. Some well-known polysaccharides are dextrine, then chitin, then inulin. C ends in IN, ends with IN, remember this. Also we can differentiate polysaccharide as in two types. First is linear polysaccharide and next is branched polysaccharide. Here I will tell you the difference between linear polysaccharide and branched polysaccharide. First is linear polysaccharides and branched polysaccharides. Both with same molecular weight, linear polysaccharides have greater viscosity. Viscosity is higher. And branched polysaccharides have lower viscosity, because in linear polysaccharides there is hydrogen bonding between two parallel polysaccharides. See, this is hydrogen bonding, and therefore there is more micelle formation and more intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and therefore stiff and rigid gel is formed. While in branched polysaccharides, these branches of polysaccharides prevents hydrogen bonding to some extent. Therefore, there is less hydrogen bonding between these two parallel chains, and therefore less intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and therefore less growth of micelle, and therefore less viscosity soft gel is formed. Soft gel is formed. Also, the gel formed from these branched polysaccharides is translucent. Practice. Example of linear polysaccharide is cellulose, and building block or basic unit of cellulose is beta D glucose with 1,4 linkage. And example of branched polysaccharide is dextran, which has alpha 1,3 and alpha 1,6 both linkage. It is 95% and it is 5%. See, these are some examples of polysaccharides with their linkages. Remember these examples, these are very important from exam point of view. And also one more thing I forgot to tell you, that there are some sugars and they have specific caramelization temperature. Sugars and caramelization temperature. First is fructose, which has 110 degrees Celsius caramelization temperature. Next is glucose, sucrose and galactose, which has 160 degrees Celsius caramelization temperature. And the last one is maltose, which has 180 degrees Celsius caramelization temperature. Remember this. Also, starch has alpha 1,4 linkage, and starch is made up of two polysaccharides, which are amylose and amylopectin. In cereal starches, there is 25% amylose and 75% amylopectin. Cereal starch contain amylose 25% and amylopectin 75%, up to 75%. Amylose is a linear polysaccharide and amylopectin is a branched polysaccharide. I told you they have greater viscosity and they have lower viscosity due to less number of hydrogen bonding, as branches of that amylopectin prevents hydrogen bonding. And one more thing, amylose can be hydrolyzed by alpha amylase and beta amylase completely, and amylopectin cannot be completely hydrolyzed by alpha amylase and beta amylase enzymes. Here I will write amylose can be hydrolyzed completely by alpha amylase and beta amylase, where amylopectin cannot be completely hydrolyzed by these two enzymes. Also, one more thing, remember alpha amylose and beta amylose. This question can be asked in many exams. Alpha amylose, not amylase, beta amylase. This alpha amylase, remember from this spelling of alpha, EL for this enzyme is liquefying enzyme, and this beta amylase is saccharifying enzyme. Write this. This amylose is less soluble in water and amylopectin is more soluble in water. One more important thing is, when iodine solution is added to amylose, color is blue to black color, and when iodine solution is added to amylopectin, then we get brown color solution. And here remember one example: waxy corn starch contain up to 100% amylopectin. This is also favorite question of examiner. Remember this. See, when starch molecule or starch granule placed in water, water from outside comes into that granule in the regions between polysaccharide chains. Suppose this is starch granule and these are linear polysaccharides. These are branched polysaccharides like amylopectin, and these are like amylose, and hydrogen bonding is there between these chains, and linear polysaccharide has more hydrogen bonding and resulting in crystalline region, while branched polysaccharides and hydrogen bonding between branched polysaccharides results in amorphous region, and water will go in amorphous region easily. Water will go in amorphous region easily. This crystalline region causes granule to be birefringent. Birefringent means having two refractive indices. Birefringent means having two refractive indices. Means light will pass in two different ways. Suppose this is the molecule which has birefringence. When water will come inside this region, this molecule will become birefringent. When ray of light passes through that birefringent molecule, then this light will pass into different paths. And gelatinization temperature is what? When starch and water mixture of starch and water is heated to the temperature at which that grain swells and lose birefringent. Lose birefringent means this property will lose in gelatinization temperature. Here I will write gelatinization temperature. In gelatinization temperature, grain will absorb more and more water. Due to heat causes breaking of hydrogen bond, and more and more water will absorb, and grain will lose its birefringence. Birefringence means, remember this, having two refractive indices. Light will travel in two different paths. See, cold water will not break that bonds, hydrogen bonds. It will easily come into amorphous region. But heated water or hot water will break that bonds, and more and more water will absorb into grain, and grain will swell. Remember, See, cold water will not break that bonds, hydrogen bonds. It will easily come into amorphous region. But heated water or hot water will break that bonds, and more and more water will absorb into grain and grain will swell. Remember, huh? What happens in this acid modified starches? Starches are suspended in dilute acid solutions. Dilute acid solution. That acid can be hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid. Acid can be HCl or H2SO4. That is hydrochloric or sulfuric acid. This process is known as thin boiling. Thin boiling of starches. What happened in this thin boiling? Glycosidic bonds present in starch molecules are break. Glycosidic bonds will break, and partial hydrolysis is there. Hydrolysis is there. See, this acid will attack preferentially on amorphous region, as amorphous regions are more susceptible to acid attack than crystalline regions. Therefore, acid will attack first on amorphous region and will break glycoside bonds present in that polysaccharides. Here, after acid modification, gel strength, right here. After acid modification, or actually there is a three type of modification: physical modification, enzymatic modification and chemical modification. This is chemical modification. Acid modification improves gel strength. Also, acid modification increases solubility, but it reduces viscosity. And we will meet in next video. Keep studying. Thank you.